We're Chris and Nicole, and we are building out our dream camper van to be able to explore North America and beyond with it. Now that we have the ceiling redone and the paint stripped off the walls, it's time to get to work painting, and then we will start to frame our furniture and see the van begin to take its shape.
Good morning,
Hello.
everybody. And another week. And you can tell, building the van. And you can tell I just finished some sanding because I'm still completely covered. But yeah, what are you doing?
I'm starting to prime all of the knots on the wall. Goodness me, is there a lot of knots in Knotty Pine.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell, like, some of them were, I don't know if it's sap or whatever that comes out of them and stuff, but like definitely would make a issue when we painted over top of it. So just trying to get all that sealed up.
We're super excited for this week. We are going to frame the van. We promised this week that we're going to frame the van because we said that last week, and we ran into the walls of painting the walls.
Frame all the
yeah. So
structure.
we're planning to frame the bed. We're going to frame the kitchen, and if we have enough time, maybe we'll even frame our seating area.
Yeah, we'll see how we make out. So let's hope feel nice to get all the paint up. So we just need to get that done first.
Well, we didn't get as much done as we expected to this afternoon, but we are on our way to my parents for Easter dinner and a few hard days of working at their place on the van.
Hello, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Very much. Well, thank you. We were just talking about you guys.
Oh, were ya?
We haven't watched today's show.
Well, guess what? You're gonna be in the next week's show.
Say hi to YouTube!
It's a little camera. Now we put up the we've got like the shelving, which you'll see, and we decided to repaint it. We weren't really happy with the first paint job, so we sanded it all down, which you'll see in the video. And now we're treating all of the little knots on the wood, and then gonna sand that down and then put a few coats of paint on. So
Well, good stuff.
yeah.
6 hours later, we're done sanding. That only took a
7
million
hours.
more hours than we expected, of course.
And once we do our first coat, we get to sand again.
Yay!
We hate sand.
We love sanding. So, okay, we're fine. We hate sanding. So now we're priming, and then I think we're gonna go to bed.
Yeah, one coat of primer. At least it'll be white. It'll look like progress.
And we have to come back out tomorrow, sand some more, paint some more, sand some more, paint some more, sand some more,
And then put the paint away.
and then put the paint away.
I think we're gonna call it a night.
I'm tired.
Yeah, it does look way better now that it's white, but it's still only the stain, whatever you call it, stain sealer,
Stain
primer,
primer.
whatever. But it does feel nice to see it all white. Tomorrow we will do the final coats and all that stuff. And,
Tomorrow morning. So that's a wrap for tonight. We will see you tomorrow morning. Night! Ow! You can't write it.
Good morning. Just coming out to check on the van and noticing that the paint is still a little bit tacky. Probably a downside of it being cold at night and us not leaving any of the windows open. So Nicole's inside getting all ready to have a nice productive morning of the van build, and she's in for a little bit of a surprise. So hopefully now that the doors are open and stuff, it dries up. In the meantime, I'm just trying to get some of the pot lights pre-wired so that when we can do that later on today, it'll be a little bit faster, but a little bit of a setback. Always setbacks.
Hi!
Ready for a nice productive morning?
Yes!
Yeah, the paint's all wet.
How is that possible? We ended painting at like 10 last night.
Yep. We gotta wait till it dries and then we can sand it.
But the can says 2 hours to dry, touch in 30 minutes. So that's
Yeah.
not even possible, is it?
Not in Canada. So
Nothing's possible. Get it anymore.
So we gotta wait till it dries, and then we can do the sanding, and then we can do the next coat, and then do the sanding, and then do the last coat.
Come on, Van. Cooperate today.
All right, we decided while we wait for the paint to dry, we're gonna get started on some of the other things, like framing this kitchen counter. We need to go get some more framing lumber from Home Depot now. We're gonna get that. We'll get some plywood that we'll put down here on the end here. That'll be the extension of the backsplash that'll kind of cover up the driver's seat. And we weren't recording, but you missed it, but I just spilled coffee all over the wall there. And
The van now runs on coffee.
yeah, there's a ton of coffee, but luckily it was not the final coat of paint. Slow down!
I'm going 30.
Red light!
I'm going 30.
Hanger Roger!
I'm going. Settle yourself, my friend.
Nicole operates the camera while Chris does the hard work.
I'm doing hard work.
All right, 47.5 inches.
47.5 inches.
Cut.
Cutting. Marking. Welcome back, Craig.
Craig is helping us.
Craig has been one of the most instrumental pieces of this build.
To keep everything tight.
If you don't know what we're talking about, this is the Craig tool, and it has been incredible.
It creates good joints when you're in it, and if you're not good at woodworking, this is a nice, easy way to kind of just cheat.
We're not cheating, we're being smart. So if you're interested in getting a Craig tool, if you're doing a van build, we'll drop it in the link below to make your own van build way easier.
Screws go right in there and create a nice little joint. You need special screws for it, that's the only thing. They are expensive. She's got the za. I'm hungry. Where's yours?
Oh, I thought we were sharing.
No, that's mine.
It looks really good.
Does it? It's van fuel.
It's so good. Kitchen looks good, bud.
It's gonna start coming together now.
First piece of furniture in the wall besides the cabinets? Cabinets don't really feel like furniture to me.
Yeah.
Hello, Ian.
Hello, Nicole and Chris.
Premier contractor.
Yeah, the extra contract.
Still free.
Okay,
Still
so
operating for free.
we have the magic measuring tool.
All right.
So they are going to create the wall that's going to go behind the driver's seat. We're going to have backsplash that's going to go all along the back kitchen here, and then it's going to continue along the side here to create a nice finished look. And yeah, so they have to cut a piece of plywood that's going to go with the shape of the van, which is the tricky part. So, and then it'll mount right to the side of our countertop, and then the side of the cupboards up top. It'll be nice and strong. Draw the shape, and then you can use that as the
Failure. It's not deep enough.
It would work well for flooring and all that stuff.
I was hoping.
Tile.
Yeah.
And a big one.
Well, they do have ones that are like
Really
Right.
good.
6-8 inches. So, okay, so
So I think we can bring the whole piece of plywood in here and slide it in as far as we can, and then try to mark up the wall.
yeah, because see, this is gonna be the tricky piece.
Yeah, so I think if we bring it in all the way, it'll come, I don't know, like might get stuck here or something, and we can.
Okay.
Cut number 47. Nicole is off with her mom to go get some new paint from Benjamin Moore. The decision from the higher ups has decided that we're not using the Home Depot paint, and we're going to use Benjamin Moore paint, and it's going to be Chantilly lace and not white. So you can be the judge after it's done, whether you think it's Chantilly lace or if it's white. My vote, it's just white.
We planned on painting early this morning, but we got a lot done, so it's time to paint. I just need to go change. Ta-da!
Done painting. Finally.
Finally.
Yeah. And if there's imperfections, if there's anything in there, we're not even going to make a comment about it. We're not going to let it impact us. We're happy with it.
And we're okay with that.
Yep.
It looks so good. We have just done the second coat. First coat looked absolutely fantastic, so we're super happy with that. I'm gonna leave the heat running for a little bit just to let it dry.
Yeah, dry overnight, and then gonna install light switches, pot lights, everything, all these nice little finishing touches tomorrow, so that'll feel good.
So we can't wait. But
Been
we're
waiting
heading to
for
bed.
like 3 weeks to do that. I think
know.
I've said that in like 3 different videos, so see you in the morning.
So many of you have not met Nike, the last member of our family, but Nike's a superstar. Her mom does nightly training with her. Nike does 1.5 million tricks. Can you do a trick? Show me, Pa. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to another day at the van build. Nicole is hard at work.
Hi.
Gonna do a little cleaning. We got all the painting done, as you can see. Looks nice. Happy with it.
Spotless this time. We're so happy with it.
And we're deciding that we're not going to look too closely at it, just in case we find something that we don't like. So, 'cause we're not doing that again.
No.
Today's about, I don't know, what's today about?
We're going to be doing pot lights, framing the bed, and if we have time, maybe we'll even frame our seats.
Yeah.
We're cutting the front plate of the bed. Base plate, front plate,
Base plate? Yeah.
front panel.
The front panel, bed front panel. And that is a wrap for the weekend, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you, Ian, for all your
Ah,
hard work.
We appreciate it as always.
yeah, we're sending them away from Oakville again with all kinds of stuff done. We got lots of projects completed and some started.
Yeah,
It's
you
been
can
great.
see it in the background.
Yeah,
We got a bed, kind of.
Kind of.
We got a kitchen, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Spotlights, kind of.
Kind of. We got lots of kind of projects going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Painting. You know, we got some electrical stuff going in
Yeah,
there.
we
too.
got switches
Thermostats,
and
yeah,
everything, so
Kind of.
all kind of. Yeah, that doesn't work, that's why. So,
It's looking awesome. We're
Yeah.
good to go.
all right, we will see you next
At
time. At home. So we're gonna make a few adjustments to the bed height. We were looking at the mattress that we want to get is like 10 inches thick, which we didn't really expect. It seems pretty thick for a mattress, but I guess since it's foam and it's supposed to be comfortable. So we're gonna lower the bed by like 2 inches. We were looking at like the height of where our seats are, and I think it will all still work. So at least the bed's not totally made, we just have to drop it down.
The reason we're dropping the bed down because otherwise it would cover already
yeah.
a chunk of the window.
Yeah.
So where we're dropping it to, it's going to come flush right to the edge of the window where the window starts. 'Cause
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at the window over here, the bed would probably kind of the top of the mattress would like come up here, so we want it to be at least at the level of the window. So that's the whole name of the game. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Almost got the van, almost got the bed lowered. How's the work going?
Good.
Hard at work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the view.
Of me working.
Can't do
So.
anything.
A little bit lower, you can barely tell, but it's lower. A couple hours and one almost deadly incident with a drill falling on a toe.
You almost broke my big toe. Had a few tears.
Yeah, and after all that, we're right back right where we started by having a bed rebuilt, but only like 1.5 inches, 2 inches lower. So, time to go to bed. I think we're calling it right now.
Yeah, because there's gonna be more injuries.
Yeah, no more injuries. We'll continue tomorrow. All right, we just finished a little bit of cleanup here with the bed, evened off the edge here for the front. What I'm gonna do now is try to clean up some of this wire mess here. We have so much excess wiring. It looks like it's a lot. It's just because there's a lot of excess. Now that I've got the 12-volt fuse panel here, I'm gonna start wiring a lot of that in, and that's gonna probably clean up at least half of the wires there. And I can probably maybe wire up as much as I can. Hopefully we'll get it a little bit cleaner and that much closer to having the lights on. Alright, so the whole idea with the electrical is basically you need to take all, what we've got here is a little fuse block. It's got a negative bus bar and a positive bus bar, so for 12-volt power you just have a positive and negative. What you want to do is every one of your appliances or your circuits, every one of your circuits is you need to decide what size fuse do you need to have on that circuit. It's really to protect the wiring. So if something on that circuit tries to draw too much power, you don't want, if you drew too much power for the type of wire you're using or the gauge of the wire you're using, you could have a fire. So what you want to do is separate all of your devices. So we've got like lights would be one circuit, our fridge is on its own circuit, and then we'll determine what type of fuse, what size fuse you need to put on each. In terms of the wire, a heavier gauge wire will handle more current. So you can always, you can never really go wrong with too heavy a gauge, but you can go wrong with too light of a wire. And so it's always better to go a little bit on the safer side. The only thing to keep in mind is that the heavier you go, the more expensive it is. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to take a lot of this stuff. We've got it all wired up. So this one here is the 12-volt fridge, and try to lead it all in here nice and neat, and at least get it all connected into this panel here, and then that should clean things up a bit. If anyone wants to know how one of these works, basically you've got your negative from your batteries comes into the top here, and then all of these will be all your negative connections for all the circuits that you have. So you just put them all there. You can see I've got the fridge and the fan connected in there. So this was like almost like a power bar will spread that negative connection, the ground connection, all through there. Then the voltage comes through the positive from the batteries into this down at the bottom here, and then splits off, runs through the fuses to all of the positive connections on all of your circuits. So there again, there's the fridge and there's the fan. So those two wires go together, and that's how it works. If if any of these tried to draw too much voltage or too much current, then the breaker or the fuse, which fuses you guys probably have seen before, they look like, here's a 15 amp fuse right there. So you want to look at each one and see what, look at both how much current does your appliance that's on the circuit draw, and then also keep in mind how much current does your wire handle. So really, if your fridge is rated at 8 amps is what it's supposed to, then you probably be fine with a 10 or a 15, and then basically you just stick that in there. And now the current runs through here, runs through that fuse, and then out through the wire. And if it tries to pull too much, this fuse has a little metal thing in the middle there that will break in the event that it tries to pull more than 15 amps in this case. It's always good to have a whole bunch of these on hand. So almost done. Got the toilet, the fridge, the fan, and the heater, and I just got a few more to fill in. And while I'm doing this, Nicole's on her way to IKEA to get some bed slats so that we can finish the bed. But I want to get most of this done ahead of time, otherwise then I'm going to be crawling underneath the bed to do all this wiring. So so far this isn't so bad. The hard part, well, the more complex part will be making sure I'm using all the right wiring to connect all of these components afterwards. But once the 12 volts in here, it'll allow us to actually kind of run some power through here and use some of the little appliances in the meantime. Just want to do a quick disclaimer for you. I'm not a licensed electrician. We did consult those in the field to make sure that we're doing this correctly and safely for the type of setup that we have. But if you're looking at this and trying to figure out how to do the electrical for your own setup, that's great. You can use this as an example, but you should always make sure that you consult someone in the field and make sure that you know that it's going to be safe and correct for your own needs. If you're looking at this video for advice, the advice and example here is has a limited liability of the amount that you paid for this advice, which is 0. Cleanup is halfway done. At least there's not so many cables down on the road or down on the ground anymore. You can kind of see I've got all those cables that are spooled up. There are the AC wires that are going to go into this breaker box. But most of the 12 volt stuff is done. I have a little bit of lighting wire to do. I've got a lot of extra wire, which that extra wire is going to be used just to kind of connect a lot of the stuff, depending on what gauge is needed. So that is a success. Feels good to clean it up a little bit. Now we actually have a garage space. And that is a wrap of this week on the van build. I think we did a pretty good job. Looks good. It's like looks if you it's hard to, like, as the week goes on you kind of think like, okay, it's not really progressing much, but if you think of where it was at the beginning of the video,
Absolutely.
it made a huge difference.
Yeah,
The paint's up.
We didn't have the kitchen in, we didn't have the bed in at the beginning of the week, so Ontario went into lockdown again this week, so we definitely hit a few speed bumps there. We have a lot of products that just seem to be stuck somewhere in the mail, so we're waiting on those. That have definitely slowed the week down, but that's okay. I'm like super happy with how everything turned out, honestly.
Yeah. Did we show them the fridge?
We didn't really show them the fridge. Chris put the fridge
Yeah.
in because you did a panic install because you needed to drive it somewhere.
Yeah, well, we put it in to make sure it fits, and then I kind of framed it just so it wouldn't fall over. But check out this fridge. It's got a handle, lots of space, little tiny freezer compartment.
You didn't show them the freezer either.
Yeah, and then we'll walk around there. Yeah, we can see that. So, yeah, so the fridge is done, and that's, well, it's not done, but we're still waiting, but it's actually kind of in there. You kind of get an idea. And then we have a little chest freezer down back there that's going to roll out out into the main area where we can get access to it all and stuff. And you can set that to be a refrigerator or a freezer, as like, I think it goes as low as minus 22 or something like that. So
we're super excited about that because we definitely have a lot of fridge space in our RV, and we're really used to being able to utilize the fridge. So I think being able to like turn it into a fridge when we don't need the freezer aspect of it is going to be such a huge help for us, just making sure that we kind of are able to keep everything cold.
And we won't use it all the time. If we don't need the space, then we'll shut it off and save the power. And that's the last thing that we obviously did a little bit of work on the power to be able to power all this stuff, because we're putting a lot in here that's going to use up a lot of juice. So yeah.
So thank you for putting up with a little bit of a slower again week, but we're just kind of rolling with the punches as lockdowns and, you know, the pandemic kind of swings a few punches at us as well. But
yeah, we did a lot of ordering this week too, so we've got
tons of ordering. Sinks coming, faucet. We're on the hunt for the water tank. We're having a harder time sourcing the tank because of the pandemic, but we'll find one. Yeah,
like once the countertops get in, we're meeting someone tomorrow to look at that.
So countertops should be done in the next few weeks.
Yeah, in the bed and everything. So
it's coming.
It's gonna come along fast.
So we would love to know what you think, how many more weeks we're gonna be at this. I'm thinking 4 to 5. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same, like it's early April. Yeah, so I guess
that puts us into mid-May.
Mid-May we should be like tying up loose ends. So like we'd be able to use it. We may just have little things to fix.
Yeah. So let us know what you think based on how we're progressing, because we're moving at a quick pace, but we're also hitting a few bumps. So we'd love to know what you guys think.
So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye.